David, thank you so much for joining our Egypt Oil and Gas Talks. Thank you for being with us today.
And happy to be here. Thank you for the opportunity.
No, it's always a pleasure talking with you. And let me start with the past couple of days during Egypt's Apache signed several agreements. Can you elaborate more on these agreements and what does it mean to Apache?
Yeah, so we actually signed 2 agreements specifically to Apache, and then one on behalf of MChem. So the first 2, one is related to modernization. And then the other 2, the MChem one and the other Apache one, was related to capacity building and middle management training. So let me start with the modernization one. We were very happy last December, for December 2021, we signed a modernized PSC with the government of Egypt, which kind of reset, I guess our plan and our operations in the country. It's a new chapter that laid a very strong foundation for us to continue to grow and to invest and to produce energy that the world needs for many years to come.
Yes.
Now, so that was the PSC part. The modernization, of course, is a journey. It's not just the PSC, which is just the foundation. We've got to build upon that.
Yeah.
So what we are working with the ministry on for the MOU is how can we continue to get better. Under his modernization program, there's many pillars. So some of them related to the current PSC. And the idea is we need to improve the governance and the organization efficiency in our joint ventures.
Yeah.
So we merged the 2 joint ventures that we have in Egypt, Kauda and Karoum, into one. So it will become, the largest joint venture in the country. But of course, with that is you have to be able to make decisions in a very efficient way. You have to focus on execution, make sure you do everything in the right way. But you also have to have the right checks and balances. So the whole MOU is related to these pillars. How do we make the organization better so we are not just doing the right things, but we are doing things right? So that's the modernization MOU. On the other hand, we always know that human resources is the foundation for everything we do, not just in our industry, but everywhere. But particularly looking at our industry. So there are 3 foundations in my mind, that's really critical for our sustained success. That is hydrocarbon resource, that's human resource, and financial resource.
Absolutely.
So the capacity building MOUs, the middle management MOU focus on that, is how can we continue to develop and help our most valuable assets, which is our people, to become even more efficient and for them to be happy and be productive.
Excellent. And it's first of all, let me congratulate you on the merge of your 2 JVs. So
yeah,
now,
one.
Yes, now it's one, and with the biggest JV right now in the industry. So good luck with that. I know that transition is not going to be easy. And with, of course, your signing of the MOU of the capacity building, I'm sure you make it very sufficient in a very efficient manner. Let me go to a very important factor that everybody's talking about these days. President Sisi met with Apache's CEO during his visit here at Egypt's the opening. Can you elaborate on that meeting, what happened in that meeting? And that also shows the strong ties and how important we see Apache as a partner to Egypt. What happened in that meeting, David?
Yeah, I mean, of course, we are always very honored to meet His Excellency President Sisi, who is, one of the leaders, at least personally, I admire the most. Based on my experience in the last 8 years living here, see the transformation. So the meeting was very productive and constructive. First of all, His Excellency President, kind of told us, his expectations that, Apache, being the largest oil producer and the largest American investor, that we need to continue to do our work, which is, invest and produce energy in the most efficient manner for the benefits of all stakeholders.
Yeah.
And then the second part of that is related to the, our, I guess, statute as the largest American investor in place. I mean, these 2 great nations have a strong partnership,
True.
In many areas for a very long time. In fact, this year marks the 100th anniversary of formal diplomatic relationship between the 2 countries, so it's very special.
Yeah.
So he also wants us to tell the story of Egypt being the bridge between the 2 great nations as we have always been.
Yeah.
So that's his guidance, and that's what we have been doing. So we'll continue to support Egypt because Egypt is one of our homes. We'll continue to do that to make sure, we go on that path. And then John, of course, John Christman, our CEO,
Yes.
Provided the updates. One, we thank the support of the president, as he always has, for our business. That's why we can have a sustained and very successful business in this country. It's because, of the support of the government and the great partnership we have. So John, of course, thanked the president for his support and provided update that we have already, more than double our rig count. We continue to be the most active driller in the country, and that we are seeing production performance improvement, and that will continue to do so. And also talk about how we're going to modernize the organization, how we're going to bring technology, as we always have, to continue to improve upon that.
Great.
And then on top of that, we also give an update to His Excellency that Apache, is going to be fully supportive of the COP27 Egypt. That's a great opportunity for Egypt and for all the stakeholders involved. That we going to follow the success we have in the United States, where we eliminated 100% of our routine flaring in 2021. So this year, we are committed to reduce our routine flaring in Egypt by 40% minimum, just within this year. And then that will build a foundation for us to, meet a goal of eliminate everything, way before 2030, with the United Nations goal. Apache is a company that, we don't just say things, we do things. So if you see from the results we got in the U.S. versus what we are, committed and that we will deliver in Egypt, shows you the importance of that. So we'll do that. And lastly, what we talked about in the meeting was, that we really, the reason we can be here and be successful is because of the government. We have seen with our own eyes what happened in Egypt under the leadership of President Sisi. The economic reforms, how the country continued to progress, actually leading the world, one of the very few economies, major economies that actually had growth despite of the challenge of the pandemic.
Yeah.
And also, we also praise, again, is with our own experience, first-hand experience, the transformation, the progress Egypt has made in the oil and gas sector under the leadership of His Excellency Engineer Tariq Mola, especially under his modernization pillar, that we'll continue to support that, and we firmly believe that Egypt and the oil and gas sector in Egypt will continue to be very successful and the bright spot of the world.
Thanks a lot, David. Well, you have a lot of responsibilities on your shoulders as Apache, one of the biggest investors in Egypt in the oil and gas industry today and in the previous years. So we're expecting a lot from Apache in the coming years and seeing more, which you have been always delivering a lot of our energy resources here in Egypt. But going to COP27, which you did mention, that you will, Apache, be supporting Egypt as a host for COP27. And we always say in our industry, as you know, that since we're part of the problem, right, we should be part of the solution.
Exactly.
So what is your insight about how the industry could support COP27, especially that it's hosted here in Egypt? What is the message that us as a sector, we should be delivering in COP27?
Yeah, so of course, I think it's a great honor for Egypt and really a testimony of how important Egypt plays, on the world stage, that, with the opportunity to host COP27. And we being a critical player in the Egyptian economy, of course, will contribute under the leadership of the Egyptian government, And there's many ways that we can do that. One is taking actions. Like I mentioned to you earlier, we are doing a lot of stuff to make sure we reduce our impact, the operation of our impact on the environment, like the 40% routine flaring reduction in 2022 only, with also a lot of more projects, that we'll reveal as we have more insights to share when the time is right. Beyond that is, providing, I think, our voice as an industry, because I think a lot of people forget, when you talk about energy challenges going forward, they are twofold. One is that the world needs more energy. With the population growth, with economic development, the world is going to need a lot more energy. Even today, there's a lot of poverty, a lot of people who cannot access electricity or clean cooking fuel. And particularly Egypt is representing not just Egypt, but the continent of Africa,
Sure.
That's where a lot of challenges reside. So how can we come and look at the problem holistically and provide and produce energy for all kinds of energy, not just focus on particular kind, that are reliable, responsible, and affordable. I think that's the goal. Because economic development and the well-being of people is directly related to their access to clean and responsible energy. And so we need to do that. And as an industry, I think people need to understand that the role we play is not just power generation. We are the foundation of modern way of life. We provide feedstock to all the critical industry today that enable modern life. And from agriculture to medicine, to infrastructure, to transportation,
everything.
The whole nine yards, everything.
Textiles, and everything.
So we definitely want to have a cleaner, I guess, mix of energy, because that's very important for all of us.
Yeah.
But at the same time, we also need to understand and look at things holistically and make sure whatever we do, is going to provide, better support for the humanity as a whole to continue to progress.
True. And I think you're absolutely right. I think everybody wants to have a clean energy environment, but we also have to be very practical on how we can do that, how long it will take us to do that, and without affecting our energy resources, which we definitely do
because
need.
There's energy security, there's food, there's a lot of things that's related to energy.
True.
And what we have to do is in a responsible way and make sure that we look at things in a comprehensive and realistic way.
Absolutely. Thank you so much, David. We really appreciate your insight and your experience, and congratulations on signing the new agreements. And we're looking forward to hearing more of your coming projects throughout the year.
And thank you, Muhammad. And thank you for continuing to be the voice of the industry, being the leading communication media for the industry.
Thank you so much.
Right,
Thanks, David.